Welcome back to Port Elizabeth, the beautiful city. This is part 12, and we're still continuing with that walk I did through historic part of Central, and this is the 1881 Pearson Street Congregational Church in the distance. You'll notice it's surrounded again by interesting mid-20th century buildings like this block of flats, similar to one I lived in Lawrence Street in the 1980s. I haven't previewed this rest of this walk, so we're going to have to just play it by ear as we go. Again, look out for these details of this sort of 1820 settler and descendants. This is a kind of architecture they brought to the country from the UK. And this is what really appeals to me. Villa, there's a sort of a combination here of, well, the house next door has a sort of Italian feel to it, Mediterranean architecture. So this is going down Bird Street, I think. Yeah. No, it's the next one, Pearson Street, is it? It's just, sorry, Western Road, sorry. This is down Western Road. Rather garish looking yellow building on the right there. But look out for this little chapel. We're going to encounter it shortly. And there's a nice park between Western Road and Pearson Street. Unfortunately, I wouldn't try and spend much time there. I think it's now even cordoned off with one of those steel fence things that are, meant to keep vagrants out, but actually just probably just being returned to the wild. What a lovely park. And there's St. John's Methodist, I think, poking its head out. So this is an interesting building. This is part of that complex, the St. Dominic's. The whole block is basically the St. Dominic's, what did we say? Anyway, Priory. Okay, so the chapel here is Church of Our Lady is the convent of the Holy Rosary, built in 1883, faces Western Road, and then restored by the same people who did the what happened to the old post office. I mean, look at this gate, sort of no subtlety at all. The roof, and they got rid of the little bell that used to be in there as well. And the roof is just, there's nothing really pleasant about it. It's got no character. It's just a functional roof. The door, cheap pine or something, or Meranti or something. This at least is how it looks from the street. And you can see this modern roofing doesn't really do it for me, frankly. Behind, there was this row of sort of buildings just behind this gate, which I think are, there we can see them, with rusty roofs made of anyway, there's a lot of character there, which I'm sure has subsequently been replaced or removed. But, it's these sort of precincts. If anyone with some sort of sensitivity to architecture would have restored, retained, and just used what they have, optimized it. So heading back down Western Road. And this we saw earlier is Trinder Square on the left. And the PE Club with that ugly addition on the left. And this is a nice Art Deco building. So with this view, we've seen this one, we walked past it earlier. And then those two beautiful older buildings at the bottom of Bird Street. Yeah, so somehow, I've come back onto Bird Street via Trinder Square Road, whatever it's called. And that's a nice view of the PE Club, opened in 1980. Sorry, it says here, this plot was granted to Alexander Nelson by Cape Governor Lord Charles Somerset in 1822. The first club was built in 1866. It's not this one. This one is, I think it might explain a bit later. The Herbert Jones and McWilliams built this one in 1905. So that's a famous architectural firm in PE. Jones and McWilliams designed the Campanile, I think, among others. Here's a nice view of it without that ugly one on the left. And this is the one next to Trinder Square that I pointed out earlier. And this is what they called Victorian Townhouse. So right next to the PE Club in Bird Street. Timber veranda, beautiful. And I actually went into this house. You know, the simplicity of the design reflects its sort of humble beginnings. This is when I went in and I photographed this. I think I've got I've sort of cropped it. So this was Bird Street with number 8 on the one on the left is the same building. No, this one here. And that's the view from within on its balcony. So fortunately they've retained it, but even now I despair of going back there in case it's been lost or damaged. And across the street from where they were building the new Supreme Court, which is being built on the site that was called Park and Ride when I arrived. It was just a big parking lot when I arrived in PE in 84. And it was the site of the collegiate high school, girls' high school, for almost 100 years. It's the PE Club behind its giant wild fig. And there's a nice view. It shows the elegance of its facade. So we're going back up Bird Street, and here's a university campus, satellite campus. And I go into this on a subsequent trip. I think I managed to get in there. There's some great buildings there. And we're back with this ruin. And that Sunnyside, which was I think a hotel actually, it's been subsequently restored. Look at this great old building. I mean, it's so much character, just needs to be retained. And this interesting sort of modern, fairly modern Tudor building, mock Tudor maybe. I don't know, it's probably still 100 years old or more. So we actually then, and I think I'm going to have to end this one here because this will make a nice separate outing, is to go to the St. George's Park Cemetery, or the Scottish Cemetery, which we'll do next time. Cheers.